So, Elizabeth, I understand you've been such a tremendous advocate for other victims, and you recently met with the USA gymnasts who were victims of the team physician, Dr. Larry Nassar. What did you say to them?
They were such incredible women. Listening to them talk about their story and what they went through, I just feel like they have set this standard for what victims can look to. I mean, for how powerful we really are, how when we come together, I mean, there isn't anything that we can't overcome. I mean, they just were so amazing. And it also made me think a lot about, what are we teaching our children today? We talk a lot about fire safety. We talk a lot about like earthquake safety. We talk a lot about safety. But in my entire education in the school system, I don't ever remember anyone talking to me about like sexual violence safety. And I could be wrong, but I'm willing to make a bet there are probably a lot more victims of sexual violence than there are burn victims. So stop, drop, and roll is great, but I don't think that's going to protect you from someone trying to rape you. And we should be addressing that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see changes in the school setting and other places, because I mean, there's a lot more of it going on. Obviously that's coming out now with the Me Too movement. How do you feel about that?
I think the Me Too movement has been long overdue. It's like, as a survivor and as I've gone out and I've met with other survivors, I can't even tell you how many times when I've presented and I've spoken about these topics and these issues that afterwards I have women, and not just women, but men too, coming up to me and saying, I've never told anyone this, but because you spoke out, I feel like I can now speak out. And so I feel like the Me Too movement is doing that on such a larger scale. I mean, people who have never spoken out about what's happened to them are feeling this camaraderie and like that they can share what's happened to them too. And I think that's so needed, because this isn't a topic that you can just hide away or think once it's done and over with, it's really done and over with, because it's not. I think it haunts people through their lives.
Exactly. If you internalize all of this, there will be no resolution. You're gonna deal with this internal struggle the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And Elizabeth, I want to follow up on that and ask you about coping, because when you continue to heal, you can still sometimes experience flashbacks, symptoms from the past. How have you dealt with those, and how have you moved forward when that happens to you?
So there are definitely times when, like, I'll see a picture of someone or someone will do something, I'll be like, whoa, it's a little bit freaky. But for me, I always just have to remind myself, like, where I am in life right now. I'm like, okay, like, yes, I acknowledge, like, that this does remind me of, Brian David Mitchell or Wanda Barzee or, being chained up. Like, it does remind me of that, but I'm not chained up anymore. I'm not with them anymore.
So, I understand now you're a mom, you're married. So how does this influence you as a mother and as a wife?
It scares me, because I think the worst thing in the world would be to have something happen to my children. And so part of me wants to just like wrap them in bubble wrap and like move out to the middle of nowhere,
never let them out.
build a compound and never let anyone in or let them out. But then I also have to remind myself that's not doing them any favors, because one day they will leave home. One day I will have to let them go and experience life on their own terms. And so really the best thing I can do is to educate them, is to prepare them. And I mean, right now they're young. My daughter's only 3 and my son's 10 months. So it's,
oh my gosh.
So I'm not having to have like huge, heavy conversations with them. But even my daughter, she's 3 years old. I mean, I talked to her already. There's 3 things I want her to know every day: that she's loved unconditionally, that no one has the right to scare her or hurt her. And if anyone ever does, which is maybe my most important point, is that she needs to tell me. So when I talk to her, her name's Chloe, and we call her Coco. And so I say, okay, Coco, like, you tell me, like you tell me if anyone hurts you or like scares you. And these days she's like, Daddy said no more juice. Or like, he took my goldfish away. And like, it's silly now, but I'm happy she tells me that now, because maybe as she grows, she'll continue to tell me those things that scare her or worry her or make her upset.
Elizabeth, I have a favor to ask of you.
Yeah.
And that is to continue writing books. Continue to tell your story, because I could not be more impressed with you. You are just such a wonderful spokesperson for perseverance. So I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. And everyone in the audience is very lucky today, because you're going home with a copy of Elizabeth's new book, Where There's Hope, Healing Moving Forward, and Never Giving Up.